Hey, what's up, folks? This is Lee David, Bus Driver Chronicles, Part 2 on my way up to the Bronx. You know, whenever somebody calls me, the video cuts off, and it won't cut back on, and that's it. I gotta start another video. It doesn't give me the option to go ahead and record again. So that's what's going on.
Richard Rojas at the Bronx was going the wrong way. All right, let's go back to the mayor.
Who right now are suffering because of this horrible incident. I want to thank all our first responders. The perpetrator was apprehended very quickly. And I want to thank all the first responders. People in New York City will stand firm, will be resilient. We have tremendous faith in our first responders to handle this situation so quickly. And we will provide regular updates as detectives are currently reviewing any other criminal history for the subject. Further investigation is ongoing. At this point, as the mayor said, there is no indication that this incident was terrorism related. Now Commissioner Nigro will talk about the injuries.
Thank you. Now, I'll talk about the injuries in general terms as we do. We're not going to talk about names or specific injuries. We did have one person who was pronounced at the scene. There were 4 critical patients removed, 2 to Bellevue, 2 to Roosevelt with very traumatic injuries, including open fractures, including multiple traumas. None of those at this point, thanks to the fact that they were quickly transported to this hospital, is likely, but that doesn't mean they are cleared. None of those 4 are right now likely to perish. Conditions can change. We're very hopeful that the fact they were treated here quickly and removed quickly, that they will survive. 3 other injuries were very serious, but not critical. They were also removed to local hospitals. 15 are less serious injuries, we call green tag injuries. All of these people have now been transported to the hospitals, are being treated. Both the names or ages or where they come from at this point, but there was a very large amount of fire department, police department resources arriving here very quickly, and thanks to that, people received care in a very timely fashion.
All right, let's...
So did y'all guys hear that? Some guy driving a Honda went down Broadway, went down 7th Avenue the wrong way from 42nd Street to 45th Street on the sidewalk. They said at a high rate of speed, and then he hit something metal, and that's what stopped the car. It's some Spanish guy from the Bronx, but they think he was just drunk. So, go figure. Back to the news.
You gotta speak up. The vehicle, at this time, we don't think the vehicle was being pursued by a police vehicle. David? David, as you know, the NYPD constantly reassesses security throughout the city, and after an incident like this, we'll do that also. Mr. Mayor? Yeah, I would just add, there's a very substantial increase in the number of police officers who patrol Times Square over the last few years, obviously as part of our creation of a greater anti-terror force, the Critical Response Command. In addition, other measures have been put in place. As Commissioner said, we will continue to update those measures as each situation warrants. Thank you.
Right between, it looks like it's between 4-2 and 4-3 McGee. On 7th Avenue, on the sidewalk. I'm not sure about that. I can't give you that. No, we'll give you that in whenever you didn't do that yet. Okay? Yep. He's in the process of being tested as we speak, and he's being interviewed by the New York City police detectives also. I can't say that with any degree of certainty right now. Right behind. You gotta speak up. Yeah, it looks like, that's where he mounted the sidewalk at 4217, half a block away from here. Up to 4-5 Street, yes. Now we're in the process of reviewing all the video right now. We're in the process of interviewing him right now. Again, this is only happened an hour and a half ago. Marcia? Of course, the worst went through my mind, and that's why the mayor and I came here as quickly as we could. I spoke to Chief Aubrey, who's the detective chief in Manhattan South, and we quickly determined that this time doesn't appear to be terrorist-related.
Right. And Marcia, same thing, exactly. Obviously, we know the times we're living in, Marcia, and we know it's a dangerous moment in history. I also had, the second I heard it was Times Square, I knew that there was a tremendous police presence. But as we've learned more, again, there's no indication this was terror. Go ahead. Yeah, I think that's a different discussion than the crisis we're talking about right now. It is. We're talking about this right now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Response is the same as been any time there's been an incident anywhere in the world. We continue to go about our lives as New Yorkers. Now, thank God, based on what we know now, there is no indication that this was an accident. But for anyone who's concerned, my message is always the same. This is the safest big city in America. That's been proven many times over. 36,000 police officers protecting people. Even when some incidents occur, it should not change people's fundamental knowledge that they are safe and the NYPD protects them.
Hold on a second. Yeah, please. Before I take any more questions, I'm going to let Chief Aubrey kind of walk through the chronology of what just transpired in Times Square. Okay? Bill?
I just want to reiterate, as the mayor and the police commissioner had said, there is no indication at this point that this has anything to do with terrorism. I'm going to take you through the facts that we know an hour and a half into.
Hey, give him one too.
11:54 a.m.
Give that driver one also, all right?
He's a 26-year-old male. He's traveling southbound.
Now give him one.
7th
And I'm
Avenue.
buying two. Give that other driver the bus behind me one.
He makes a quick U-turn onto the west side.
Give me my change.
West side
You owe me
sidewalk
$3.
of 7th Avenue and 42nd Street. He proceeds
Give
on
him
that
one.
west side sidewalk
All right, there.
3.5 blocks, where he hits the stanchion. Between 42nd and 43rd Street, there's an 18-year-old female that was struck, and she now is dead. Her 13-year-old sister was also struck, and she's being treated in a hospital. Upwards of over 20 other people were injured between 42nd Street and 45th Street on that west side sidewalk. When he hits the stanchion on the west side sidewalk, there's a traffic agent that ends up tackling him. That's traffic agent Al-Faki Abdamaggio. There's also a parole officer and there's also patrol cops that are there that assist with apprehending him. They get him in the patrol car, they bring him back to Midtown South Precinct. He makes certain statements, which I'm not getting into. Currently, right now, he's being transported to a testing facility where Highway will test him for drugs and alcohol. As the commissioner had said, he has a previous background arrest history. In 2008, he was arrested in Queens for drinking and driving And also in 2015, he was arrested in Manhattan for drinking and driving. His last recent arrest was in May of this year, and that was for menacing. And again, we're working with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. We're working with witnesses. We're looking at video to try to piece the facts together here. But at this point, there is no indication that there is terrorism involved. We have detectives at his home. We have detectives canvassing for video. We have detectives speaking with witnesses. And again, so far, it looks like we're getting down to the facts as they come about.
All right, you are listening to live coverage on 1010 WINS of the situation in Times Square where an out-of-control driver went up on the sidewalk going the wrong way and targeted a number of people who run it down through 2009 Accord. Policing mounted the sidewalk west of 7th Avenue and 42nd Street. He went speeding up the wrong way from 42nd to 45th, striking a number of people, 23 in all. One woman, an 18-year-old, was killed. The driver came to a stop at court.
That car would have been racing inside of the store, and they also feel that it might have hit a number of other people because the crowds up here were much thicker than they were down where the car came up the road. The guys here were saying that initially they heard the squeal of tires, the thud as the car hit the curb, and then the explosion as it hit the barricade. Initially, they were telling me there was a lot of chaos, people running away from the scene, but a couple of the guys, the tour bus guys, ran towards the scene. The reason the drivers got out because they run, and they caught him one of the traffic agents here. So that was a little bit of excitement for them. Some folks are telling me that initially it was complete pandemonium. People were running all directions. There was a lot of talk, terrorism was intentional, what was its intention. But most of them didn't want to hang around for that. They just folded. Immediately, I got also a lot of folks that in Time March, the police department, and with the security here in Times Square, started to get people out of the immediate area because they didn't know if this was over. They didn't know what it was. And just to be on the side of caution, they were trying to get people out of here. So right now, you got a large area that's cordoned off. You got this car that's completely mangled, not much left of it, and a lot of detectives working the scene, still trying to piece it all together. Now it's around 1010 WINS live in Times Square.
WINS News Time 150, traffic and active weather in a minute.
Looking for a new way to make money? Look no further. Drive with Uber. Earn great money and set your own schedule. Uber can help you get a commercial license and will guarantee you earn $1,250 a week when you start. Plus, they'll give you a $250 reward. Rent one for free for 2 weeks from a participating dealer. Hurry, this offer won't be around forever. So what are you waiting for? Call 844-NYC-DRIVE. That's 844-NYC-DRIVE. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Uber.com/DriveNYC for details.
Imagine a store that lets you get anything you want. An HD flat screen TV, a high-capacity, ultra-quiet washer and dryer, a complete living room set. And imagine if you didn't need a liquor credit yet, that store simply believes in you. Imagine it being able to deliver it, set it up, and service it at no additional cost. Well, that store exists. No credit needed, affordable payment plans, delivery, setup, and service included. Imagine you... Purchase transactions, see store for details.
Staples knows that when your spreadsheets no longer spread, it's time. When your presentations are not presentable, it's time. And when tensions in the office are high,
Tensions are very, very high.
it's definitely time. And at times like these, when pros turn to Staples. Staples has a full range of tech services to help your business with everything from data recovery to virus protection. And right now, get $50 off PC diagnostic and repair service. So your business won't miss a beat. Staples, each pro's confident. And 527 services on improved parts.
WINS News Time 151. From the Dodge Traffic Center, here's Roy Bright.
Well, Susan, the story is simple. Avoid Times Square. They're not going to let you on 7th Avenue or some of these cross streets get by, but not all of them, and not all of the time. They want you no further north in Manhattan than 42nd Street, anywhere near Times Square. In fact, the FDR Drive, they're not letting you walk at 42nd Street because they're just trying to stem as much volume from 42nd Street as possible. The better way up and down from Manhattan if you're avoiding Times Square is the West Side Highway. It's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better than the ride on the east side of town. FDR's got problems either way. It's just a mess. South and New England Thruway westbound crosswalks were standing still from Co-op City all the way to the George. It's all because of earlier emergency construction work. The Deegan approaches are really not much better. Again, the West Side Highway, best route outward to the George. Inbound George, as I see it on the jam cam, we're fine up and down. Lincoln and Honolulu, no more than 15 overall. They've got trouble at the Manhattan Bridge. The Manhattan-bound lower the bridge a mess with construction. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Now the 1010 Wins AccuWeather forecast, sponsored by Bethpage Federal Credit Union. Sunshine, breezy and hot humid conditions. Up to a record 22 degrees. Mostly clear, warm, humid tonight down to 72. And then sunshine giving way to clouds, warm and sticky, maybe a spotty shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon, 88. For the weekend, mostly sunny, breezy, much.
So I'm here, but I'm going to go into this bus stop. Alright, so this is the school on my right hand side. So I am here, and that's it. Alright, so we're on our way to New York City. Berlin, Miami, to be exact.